Getting a good dimension render, more photorealistic of your house, involves downloading the SketchUp file. Dimension is now able to just open these files up, so you do need to have it installed, but I can actually now click on this by having installed Dimension. I already had it open, and it goes straight to here. So you actually have to zoom out quite a bit, as it's a large model, until you can see the whole house. But before you go too far, let's change the image canvas so that it's 1920 by 1080. Over here on the right, you can see that the default size is not 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to set that right now, pressing enter the second time. And now I should be able to change this to an actual like fit the selection or fit the canvas, so we can see the whole thing. Okay, so looking at that, I'm going to zoom in a little bit and get my position so it matches the other one. Let's go back to the assignment and get the name of the assignment image. So this would include the word dimension, and it's just like the front view of the house. You could go back to dimension now, and let's switch over to the render. There are lots of things you can do with the lighting. Materials is a little bit more complicated because it's already got the materials in it, but let's just see about rendering this image. So right now what we have is a file name that is untitled. So that's the first thing I'm going to change so that I've got it. You've got a place where it can be rendered to, so I can actually go straight to my 3D modeling, and then I've got my images folder right there. So I'm going to select that folder. And actually, let me put a B in front of this because I've done this once already. Now, by default, it'll do a Photoshop version, but we'll just do a simple PNG for right now. We're not adding our own backgrounds or making any changes to it, just rendering it as is. And the low quality fast is maybe the first thing to try. It can take like 10 minutes on the higher resolutions and the higher quality. So let's hit render, and it starts rendering. It's sending simulated photons from the light source to each of the pixels in the house, and then bouncing them towards the camera. So then it does more and more of them and averages out the results. That's how it gets nice smooth shadows when they're being cast right here. We'll see that a little more when we do our detail view. You can see the progress right here. With these computers, it can take about a minute to get this low-res 1920 by 1080. And it's just generating the file in the folder right now. You can't stop the render and go back and edit, so you need to wait until it's finished. Please allot enough time for that to work. And then we're going to click cancel, and now that it's finished, it'll let me go back to design. I'm going to orbit, but look, my middle mouse wheel is pan, so they use a slightly different set. I'm going to use my right mouse button to orbit. I'm going to zoom in a bit here. And notice there is some reflectivity on this, so it may not show it as nicely, just depending. So middle mouse wheel will do your panning and then get a good angle on it. If you look at your other picture, you may be able to get a better view. Let me just change my lighting here a little bit. Right now it's got a sun property, but maybe I can do a directional light. It's casting shadow in that direction. Let's just render this one. And I'm going to change the name here. I've already added the B, but I'll just add the word detail instead of front, so I get a different file name. Otherwise, it will try to overwrite it. And so I'm going to just add the word detail in there. And it's going to render the PNG to the same images folder, and it starts the rendering. You can see all of the noise that's in there because it's only sent a few photons. And now it's just adding more and more detail. It's why we want it to finish rendering so we can have it do the best job that it can. Again, these bricks here were not downloaded from the warehouse. They aren't in your original SketchUp. I did some experiments with using Firefly to generate seamless brick texture, and it seemed like it did a pretty good job of making it seamless. And there we go. We've got our 4 images to upload. Let's take a look at the examples that I have for the assignment. Make sure that the first image you upload, just do it by itself, is that overall view of the house. And then after that, we've got our other detail view. And then this one has the word dimension in it. So a different render with a little more detail and simulation of the shadows is a bit better.